just blends right in. That's why I was telling him, I'm like, last week he came, I got a country music mix because Nikki likes country music. I got a country mix where it sandwiched between Luke Bryan and Dierks Bentley, and you wouldn't know the difference, man. Like, it's that high quality of a song. And I told him,
in the middle of our private conversation. Welcome, YouTube and Twitchers. Keep going.
Welcome, YouTube and Twitchers. Talking about Dave Nudo and his song, The Lord of the Devil. If you don't know who Dave Nudo is, he was on our show. Really cool guy.
If you don't know who Dave Nudo is, how dare you?
Yeah.
Google him right now.
Right. And there's no reason this guy's not charting right now with the music he writes. It's insane that he's not, because it's just, he's that good of an artist and that good of a songwriter. And they're actually in the studio today because of the show he was on with us, where I found that song and I picked it because of the name of the song, The Lord of the Devil, and have loved it so much that I started poking at his management company, like, you guys need to release this shit. They can't release it yet because it's on a different management label, whatever. So they're re-recording it actually today, February 17th. So they can re-release it and launch it. And I'm telling you, you heard it here first when they first came on the show. Mike and I both agreed this song's a hit.
Oh.
Why this song is not played on the radio right now is beyond me, because I have a mix. I don't know if you heard it with the music going, but I have a mix. And he's sandwiched between Luke Bryan and Dierks Bentley. And it flowed. There was no... Yeah.
He is in the middle of my chaos of music, which could be Prince one song, could be Michael Jackson the next, could be Slayer the next, then it could be Dave Nudo, and he rolls right along. When his song comes on, man, and I'm not saying this because now he's a friend of ours, I'm saying it because I'm a musician and I'm a lover of music, and that song makes me want to turn the volume up like there's no tomorrow every time. It does.
Absolutely.
So I can't wait to hear the new version.
So in my truck, I have 4,600 songs on that iPod shuffle, iPod, whatever the fuck you call it. And every now and then I'll just hit all songs and hit play shuffle, and I'll see how long it takes me to get through them all.
I have 19,000 in my main folder.
Yeah. I had more, but then I plugged my iPad pod, whatever it is, thing into my Mac, and it wiped it all out. I'm like, fuck.
Oh.
So
I want to cry.
It does, because I had every CD I ever owned on that. I had all the Alter Bridge bootlegs. I had all the Creed bootlegs. I had all the Mother Love Bones. I mean, every single CD, because I had a regular desktop.
So now that you bring that up, I was watching, it used to be called Headbangers Ball, whatever they call it on MTV now. I was, just flipping through the channels on Saturday night.
Yeah.
And The Last Time by Badlands came on.
Oh, wow.
And I almost cried, dude, because I don't care about any of those CDs. I'm not saying that I'm sorry I bought them. I can listen to that music now because of modern technology, right?
Yeah, yeah.
But what breaks your heart are the ones that you forgot about that are now out of print that you can't get anywhere. You can't stream them on Spotify, Apple. I don't know if you know the story behind Badlands, but Ray Gillian, who used to sing with Black Sabbath, was his claim to fame for a short time. He was the singer of Badlands, and he contracted AIDS, and he didn't tell anyone and kept going around sleeping with all these women. So the record company shelved both of those albums, which fucked Jake E. Lee and Greg Chasen and Eric Singer out of untold royalties.
Wow.
Due to this guy's assholishness.
Wow. That's terrible, man.
Because the families of all those women were like, if you continue to profit off this, we're going to sue you for the profits, and rightfully so, right?
Well, what they should have done is let them continue releasing it and waited about, 5 years and then sued them, because then they would have got money.
Right. Right. That's the story behind that.
Wow,
they instantly shelved both those albums. But I had both those CDs, and if anybody has them, crank them up.
Yeah.
If you don't, if you've never heard the Badlands music, it's some of the best just straight ahead rock and roll I've ever heard in my life.
Yeah.
Jake E. Lee was a monster. Still is.
One artist that you cannot get anywhere is Garth Brooks. I had every Garth Brooks known to man because I liked Garth Brooks.
Streaming, you mean?
You can't, no.
No.
No, he's not, nope.
Certain artists have taken all their music off of streaming.
Well, he owns it all. He owns the rights to everything. That's why he made the statement in his heyday that he has more money that his grandchildren's grandchildren will never be able to spend. And it's because he owns the rights to his music and the production of his music and the distribution of his music. So you can search Apple iTunes for Garth Brooks, and I did. I'm like, oh sweet, he's on here, and I downloaded it, and it ended up being a fucking cover album tribute to him, and it sucked.
Really?
It sucked. You can't anywhere. Nikki loves Garth Brooks. So that's another one of those things. Like when we go dancing on Saturday nights at Denim and Diamonds, when Garth Brooks comes on, you're just on the dance floor because he's got such a high tempo beat, and we can do the crazy country swing shit that's kind of fast-paced.
There is no doubt that his band and those songs, if you don't admit that they make you want to move, you're either just being an asshole or you're dead.
Right.
You know, I mean, come on. Garth Brooks. He didn't sell a gazillion records, and he doesn't sell out everywhere he plays by accident, right? Nope. I hate when people say somebody like that sucks. It's like,
It's like Nickelback sucks. Yeah, okay, but they sell it every time they play. And you sing along the entire... Garth Brooks could just start the first couple notes of the song and stand there, and everybody would sing it back to him.
The entire song.
Right. Yep. The entire show. We've seen him twice. We saw
everybody knows every word to every one of those songs. There's no question.
We saw him twice when he was doing a 2-night shows. He came through Phoenix and did 2-night shows. We've caught the later show. He had an hour break between shows and still played for 3 hours, and still nailed it.
That's why I went back to see Steve Miller 9 more times after I saw him the first time, because it was just like a big party.
Yeah.
Most of the time, the crowd was louder than the band.
Yeah.
Because once again, everybody knows every word to every one of those songs.
Yep. Hey, and by the way, we are Chris and Mike of the Chris and Mike Show. And portion of the show is brought to you by Riverside FM, the one and only choice for podcasting platforms. And we're on Twitch, YouTube, and now streaming live on our website at chrisandmikeshow.com. So if you happen to be there, you can just click the website, and boom, there we are. Hello, boys and girls. Hello.
Leave us a review. We need more reviews. Leave us a review.
We love reviews. So Mike had sent me this thing. This is pretty cool. We're going to go over this. It's called Facts That Sound Fake, but are 100% true. The first one, which makes sense, your brain cannot feel pain.
Which is why you can have brain surgery while you're awake.
Correct. This one I didn't know. Bananas are berries and strawberries are not.
I didn't know that either. I'm sure I've been told that a time or two, but I don't remember. When I read it, I was like, I didn't know that.
So is it because bananas grow in a tree and strawberries grow on a vine?
Yep.
Okay.
Correct.
This one's interesting. Water can boil and freeze at the same time.
And only in this part of the country would you understand that.
Okay.
So you can take a boiling pot of water when it's below zero and throw it in the air and it freezes instantly.
Dude, can you do that one day and film it? Because that would be cool.
The next time it's 20 below, the next time you hear me complain, and it probably won't be this year, but when I'm complaining about it being like polar-like or the polar vortex, that's when I'll do it.
Okay, cool.
It's got to be below zero. But yeah, you can take a boiling pot of water out there and throw it in the air, and it'll freeze instantly.
Yeah,
people do maybe
throw some food coloring in it so you can see it.
That'd be awesome.
A little like blue food coloring, so then it goes in the air and it's blue, and it's just that would be badass.
We'll do it.
This one's cool too, because skeletons, like, they purge their skin. Right?
I did not know this at all.
Yeah, I don't either. But I don't know how often snakes purge their skin. But you know how they do that? You find skin in the desert, right?
Yeah, they molt.
Yeah, they molt. Like chickens molt too. Like we know that because we have chickens. You get a new skeleton every 10 years. Now, what's fucked up about that is my skeleton should then correct itself, right? You would think it would correct that vertebrae and your vertebrae. You think it would correct it. Because if it's a new skeleton every 10 years, somewhere
I got the answer
between...
to your question.
Okay, cool.
Our problem is not our bones. It's the discs between our bones that used to be fluid that kept those bones from touching each other.
Right.
So our bones right now are saying, Chris Dunham, I am not your problem.
I'm not your problem.
That stupid fluid, that little pillow-like thing that keeps the bones from touching each other.
Yeah.
Yours and mine and my mom's is gone.
Yeah. That sucks.
That's the pain, is your bone on bone.
Yeah. Now I've heard stem
Snakes typically
cells.
shed their skin about 4 to 12 times per year, sir.
Oh, damn. Okay. And so we get new skeletons every 10 years. And I've heard before that your brain evolves every 7 years up to the age of 28. I don't know if that's true or not, but that's something I've
Your
I've
frontal
told.
cortex is not fully
okay.
formed until you're 25 years of age.
Okay, there you go. I knew it was
That's
something
a
to that
fact.
effect. I knew it was, yeah, I knew it was something
The
to that
other
effect.
thing is every cell in your, so now that's really cool. So you get a new skeleton somehow every 10 years.
Right.
Every cell in your body replicates every 7 years. So theoretically, you're a brand new person every 10 years. Every 7 years, all your cells have replicated into new ones. And every 10 years, your skeleton is supposedly a new one. I'm still not sure. That blows my mind.
It does. It's very mind-blowing. Okay, so then we have this one. I knew honey never expires.
Mm-hmm.
Now, when you buy honey, you can tell
honey.
if you can tell if they put something in the honey because it hardens, but it never expires. Like true raw honey just stays raw.
Yes, that's what I buy.
Right. We thought we bought that from this dude down the street, but we put it in a little honey jar. You remember the movie True Romance?
Oh, absolutely, great movie.
When Brad Pitt was smoking the honey bear bong.
Yep.
Okay. So we don't know what's in that honey bear jar, but it makes the honey we poured into that solid. It's weird. So it's just irritating.
Do you know how to? So, I'm not sure about that.
Yeah.
So you put it in a pan.
Yeah.
And you heat it slowly until it comes. You just keep stirring it until it comes back to what the consistency it was. So the guy that I buy my honey from was my buddy that I told you unfortunately just passed away.
Passed away, yeah.
He said that that's how that is when they scrape it off the hive. So what you're looking at, the bad stuff, what we consider the bad stuff, is what it looks like to the beekeeper before they make it look like it does. They heat it just like I just told you to, which is what he told me to. Because if you keep it long enough and there's not enough in the jar, or you expose it to different temperatures or light, like I keep mine in the dark, which helps.
So do I.
Keep it that way, for a long time. But I've done the stovetop method where you got to heat it slowly and you have to keep stirring it. And it'll eventually look just like it did the day you got it.
Right on. Good to know.
Yeah.
Honey facts from Mike Michaels, ladies and gentlemen.
I love my honey in my coffee, man.
Yeah, I do too, man.
You do too.
Yep. You cannot hum while holding your nose.
And both of us tried it.
A little bit, but not really. Your DNA can stretch to Pluto and back.
That fascinated me.
That is very fascinating.
Because Pluto's a long ways away.
I want to know who figured that out. What science sat there one day and was like, you know what, dear, I'm going to figure out how I can spread DNA how far.
Somebody like Mark Winter's brain was able to compute that.
Yeah.
Yes.
Mathematical. The Eiffel Tower grows grows taller. The Eiffel Tower grows taller in the summer. Now, why is that?
Because the metal expands.
Oh, okay. Because I know the Leaning Tower of Pisa sinks every year, but I didn't know the Eiffel Tower grows taller in the summer. Now, for those of you kids that are in the swing lifestyle, you know the other definition of the Eiffel Tower. Just,
That's like my front door opens nice and easy right now. I'll bail you out of this one.
Okay.
But come summertime, it's harder than hell to open and shut because it swells, being wood.
Gotcha. Yep. There you go. Humans glow in the let's say again.
He said wood. I was doing my Beavis and Butthead.
I know. I gotcha. Humans glow in the dark, but too dim to see.
I didn't know that either.
But we do glow in the dark. That's interesting. This one I kind of knew because you watch enough medical dramas and TV shows and science things. Your heart can beat outside your body. So when they do open heart surgery, I've seen where they pick up the heart and it's still beating.
Yep.
I thought this was more. You blink 15 to 20 times a minute. I really thought you blink a lot more than that. I was surprised at that low number.
The only reason that I wasn't is because I've worn contacts for so many years.
So yeah, me too.
Oh yeah, that's right. Well, don't you become hyper aware of when you're not blinking enough because your eyes start drying out?
No, my eyes dry. Arizona sucks for contacts.
Well,
man.
that's true. Agreed.
It's so bad for contacts. I got monthly contacts, and you're supposed to wear them a month. And there's some pairs I go through in a week, like a week, and I clean them. I'm like, fuck.
It's just too dry. There's no humidity. I remember.
It sucks. It sucks. You've been aging since day one, which I thought you kind of aged since day zero. Like as soon as you popped your head out, you start aging.
So the only part of that, this is how my stupid brain works. The only part of that I disagree with is you've actually been aging since the sperm hit the egg.
Since conception. Yeah.
Yeah.
There you go.
It's the same set of cells that was in that little embryo.
Yeah.
That you are today.
Yeah. Truth.
That's a fact.
That is a fact. That is a fact, Jack. That's a fact, Jack. So this other fun thing, interesting food facts.
But maybe that's what they mean by day number one. Read that statement again.
Right, why? It's you've been aging since day one.
Okay, so we can say day one is at conception.
That's what I would say.
All right.
Excuse me. So interesting food facts. Food. This I found these interesting too. So nice job finding these, Michael. White chocolate isn't technically chocolate because it contains no cocoa solids.
I think Carrie might have told me that, but she would have been the only one because she bakes a lot.
Yeah, that's interesting. I didn't know this one either. Farm-raised salmon is naturally gray. It's dyed pink to make it look real.
I did not know that.
So you're not eating salmon. You're eating a gray fish. You're eating a gray fish that tastes like salmon, and they dye it to make it look like salmon.
True.
Wrap your head around that.
No, I agree with that statement. I was like, I'm not sure. I agree with that. Yep.
Yeah. I'm saving number 3 for last because it's more exciting for me. The stickers on fruit are made of edible paper and food grade glue.
And I always wondered that.
So you can eat that sticker on your apple.
Yep.
I'm not going to eat the sticker on the apple because you know why? Because whoever put that sticker on the apple probably has a dirty hand, which is why I peel that shit off and wash the apple.
So can I put your mind at ease?
Yes, please.
No human ever touched that sticker. It was
really?
No, it was a machine at high speed just going ding, 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 ding. Oh, yeah.
Okay. So I stand corrected.
I'm still not eating the sticker, but I don't think you have to worry about somebody putting their greasy paws on it.
I may take the sticker off my next apple and put it on my tongue and see if it acts like nutmeg, which is a hallucinogen that if you eat more than 2 teaspoons full at once, you're going to go tripping.
But from what I read in the comments, don't do it because apparently it'll give you the worst headache you've ever had in your life. So I don't think that's worth it.
Do you really want to brag about, hey, man, I'm tripping on nutmeg?
The only thing I can say is your breath would smell incredible.
You know what would be funny is if Liquid Sin or Listen to Your Sin was based on a nutmeg trip, and I just never told you that.
I think that should be the new story. Just make it up.
And then the one I say for last, because I think this is fascinating. Peanut butter can be turned into diamonds under high pressure laboratory settings.
Okay, so I wonder now that you say that, and I've heard it for the third time, is that how we're making lab-grown diamonds?
It's quite possible.
Are we just sacrificing peanut butter at an alarming rate?
It's quite possible. Now, does that mean it has to be like Jiffy, or can it be the powder peanut butter? Because I have the PB supplement, PB powder.
Does Crunchy make a better diamond than Smooth?
Right. Maybe Crunchy has more. You know, we should get Nate Palmer back on, the nutritionalist, because he's the one that told us that peanut butter is actually not protein, it's fat.
Yes.
And we could blow his mind. Hey, Nate, if you're out there, peanut butter can be made into a diamond. So if you eat peanut butter, does that mean you're shitting diamonds? Sorry.
No, don't ever be sorry. That was hilarious.
I had to go there.
Oh, here. Read this one. This is great.
Okay. Why he's sending me that, boys and girls. We have had almost 21,000 views on Instagram in the last 30 days, so thank you very much for that.
25,000 on Facebook, so that's 50,000 between the two. Thank you very much. That's awesome.
I wonder what TikTok's doing, because I haven't been. I just post on TikTok. I don't actually go look at it.
I go
Nothing's
check out
yet,
what
Mike.
you've been posting, but
it's consistently, yeah.
It's moving up there.
Okay.
It takes time, just like
yeah. Whatever you sent me, it hasn't come through yet.
Speaking of which, we're on Instagram. We could use some help there.
We are on Instagram.
And you people seem to love Instagram.
I've seen Instagram. Instagram's had some nice stuff lately, man. Nice numbers popping.
Yeah, the 489 followers we have there, they're hyper loyal. So you guys rock.
Yeah. I'm going on their Instagram. I'm going to go check out the Instagram right now. Oh, come on.
I think one of the Mark Winters was right around 7,000 views. Wow. People like that one. Mark Winters,
I can't wait to have him back, dude. That dude was so
well. People didn't know what a polyglot was, just like you and I didn't, and that really attracted a lot of attention.
It attracted a ton of people, man. It attracted a ton of people.
As soon as I saw that short, I was like, "Oh yeah, everybody needs to know what this is." I had no idea. There was one naysayer. We like to call out the naysayers on TikTok that said potential for things that didn't happen in blue and things that didn't happen in yellow. So he didn't believe that happened, but you obviously didn't listen to that episode because Mark Winters is a super genius. So I'm sure his siblings are super geniuses as well.
He's a super genius. Super genius.
The guy does calculus for fun. So go listen to that episode. He's a musician now. Fascinating guy. I'm with Chris. I can't wait to talk to him again.
Yeah. Yeah, super cool guy too. He's going to be in Bisbee, Arizona too in March, doing a concert with positive vibes. And I was like, oh, Mark, I guess it's time to go to Bisbee. He's like, come down, man. Get some positive vibes, bro. So there's the Instagram page right there. This is the Chris and Mike show. Okay. 273 posts, which is pretty cool. I'm following it, so I can't see the back end data like Mike can, but right there. Yeah. There's all the stuff. Where's the polyglot guy? Where's the polyglot guy? Matt Farrell, funny guy, just had him on. I told Nikki this story.
Matt's awesome.
About him and his wife and, date night in a hotel.
And
so
because
Apache,
because we like to talk about our guests like that, I'm going to give Matt a huge compliment that I gave him to a guy I work with today.
Yeah.
I am way more critical of comedians than I am of even musicians. And the way that I figured this out is I was looking for a good comedy stand-up on Netflix the other day, and I went through 3 of them. I made it 3.5 minutes into the first guy. I made it 5 minutes into the second guy, and I made it 2 minutes into the third guy. You better be funny. And Matt is a super funny guy. It's his timing and his delivery for sure, but it's also the way he tells the stories.
Storytelling.
Right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. You have to do it without being vulgar, and somehow he can tell those stories without offending people, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. I've always thought about comedy because
you would have made a good stand-up comic for
some of the jobs I have. Like I was thinking about this one. So when I worked at the Mark Center, okay, which is a place where you have people that are our age that are we called them mentally handicapped. I know it's not politically correct. We called them our clients, right? But they were, 40 plus years old.
That is what we called them at the time, though, for sure.
Yeah. Yeah. Mentally, they were 7 years old. Okay. First introduction to this job. I show up at 7:00 in the morning. The vans are coming in. All the group homes had Astro vans. So this Astro van pulls up. Chris, they say, Chris, that's your group home. I'm like, okay. So I go open the door. First time meeting these 4 adults, right? And I'd probably say their name because I won't say the last name. So Brady no longer with us. So he gets out of the van, kind of a big guy, but not tall. Like there's always disheveled, no matter what you did. He always had a shoe untied. He always just had chaos about him, but Super Bowl lovable teddy bear until that moment, that he's not. Like I saw this dude rip out a water heater from the ground in the rec room, like legit put his hands around this water heater and lifted it up. He was pissed.
Damn.
Okay. So that was Brady. Fun loving, loved, stuck in 7-year-old mindset, loved everything Disneyland, everything Jack and the Beanstalk. I would do his voice, but I won't because I could do his voice out of love, but I won't do his voice on this. Rick, super nice guy, about 6'6", lanky, thin. His father was a football coach, salt of the earth family, like the super, super nice family. His mom picked him up every Sunday. He passed away during my tenure there too, which was a drag. He had a heart attack and passed. Mike, we had this guy named Jesse, but then he had some issues. We couldn't keep him, so they had this guy Mike, and Mike was kind of a short, thin guy that was a little bit of a hoarder and loved smoking his cigarettes, and that was his thing. He'd have this big kind of Circle K coffee mug type.
What are you trying to say?
Thing. And he smoked cigarettes, right? That was his thing, you know. And then I'm going to say Wes. So Wes, redhead, beard. First introduction, first day, I roll up, van comes up, blue Astro van. Brady comes out, hey, you know, engaged, you know, cool, okay, you're Chris Dunham, like, yeah, I'm Chris Dunham, you know. Rick comes out, hey, really loud, boisterous, in your face talking, you know, excited. Yeah, I'll just go inside. So he goes inside. You know, Mike comes out, how you doing? You know, really just mellow, like, how you doing, man? Trying to be cool, you know. So Wes is in the back of this Astro van. It's 2 seats, right? He's in the back of the Astro van. I said, come on, Wes, looks at me. Can I have my lunchbox? I'm like, well, yeah, you can have your lunchbox. You got to have your lunchbox for lunch, man. So come on, let's go. Can I have my lunchbox? Yes, Wes, you can have your lunchbox. You can have your lunchbox. I don't know, 30 seconds go by. He's not moving. Can I have my lunchbox? Yes, you can have your lunchbox. And I'm looking around. There's no other staff. So I'm like, okay. So I get in the van. I get in the seat in front of him, and I'm like, we need to go. You know, we need to go. The driver of the van who was dropping them off from the group home took their folders inside with meds and stuff. It was a Monday, so you bring your meds, all that kind of jazz. So he's not anywhere around. I'm in this van now with Wes, and I'm sitting in the middle row, and I'm looking at him. I'm like, dude, we got to go. And he's like, can I have my lunchbox? I'm like, so I look over the seat, and on his hand, white knuckles, he's got his lunchbox. It's green. It's a green Igloo lunchbox. It's square, and he's holding his lunchbox like this. Can I have a lunchbox? I'm like, yes, you can have your lunchbox. You have it right there. Let's go. and he's not moving. I was like, somehow my name came up. He's like, you're Chris Dunham guy? I'm like, yes, everything was Chris Dunham guy. He had that guy or girl. If you were a girl, it'd be like Mama K girl. Okay. So I'm Chris Dunham guy. And I'm like, yeah, I'm Chris Dunham guy. Okay. He's like, oh, you're Chris Dunham guy? And he starts laughing. I'm like, yeah, I'm Chris Dunham guy. And it's like, can we get out of the vans? Please, we need to go inside. Can I have my lunchbox? Again, first day in this world, okay? They weren't even going to hire me because I was only 20 years old, and you had to be 21 to work there because they wanted you to be a driver, and you couldn't be a driver unless you were 21. But because I had experience with the Special Olympics, they hired me. Kim Stevenson, thank you. So I decide, I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to leave the van. I'm going to go to the back of the van, open the Astro doors, back doors, right? And I'm going to come up behind him, and I'm going to gently kind of nudge him out of the van. Okay, so that works. Can I have my lunchbox? Yes, you can have your lunchbox. Well, I need you to get out of the van. So we're moving him out of the van. Finally, the morning staff comes. His name was Chris too. He's like, what are you doing, Wes? Just get out of the van, man. And has the authority. So Wes gets out of the van. So the guy's like, oh, you're Chris? I was like, yeah, I'm Chris too. He's in the West. Well, that's Chris Dunham guy. That's Chris Somas guy. Okay. I'm like, cool. We're all guys. We're all both same name. It's a beautiful thing. Can we go inside? So Chris, the driver, shuts the van, goes around, drives away. And as I turn around, Wes decides not to follow the dedicated sidewalk to the back entrance of the day center, we called it. He takes off to the grassy field at the edge of the parking lot. So I'm, fuck, man. So I'm following out there. I'm like, Wes, we got to this way. Shit you not. Carrying his lunchbox in his hand, still asking if he can have his lunchbox. I'm like, for the love of God, man, you can have your lunchbox. I'm not going to take your lunchbox. You can have it. I promise. It's your lunchbox. Lunch is in 4 hours, man. It's only 8 o'clock. It's not time for lunch yet, but you can have your lunchbox. I don't care. So I'm following him out to this grassy knoll area, and I forget this guy's name, but kind of a big hefty black man that you don't. If you saw him, walk in an alley, like I'm not going down this alley. just not happening. You could be the nicest guy in the world, but just the way that you look, not going down this alley. So he comes, we're kind of, you know, in a football, when you're trying to chase down a guy, we're both walking like this to pinpoint Wes. And we both get at the same time. He's like, Wes, what are you doing, man? And he says the guy's name and obviously ends with Guy. And I was like, look, man, I said, this is my first day. I said, this is the first van. He wants his lunchbox. This staff, brilliant, reaches down, grabs a lunchbox with Wes, and then escorts him inside. Why I didn't think of that, I have no idea. We sit down in the rec room, right? We sit down. I'm on and I have to go through my little paperwork with them, and I'm going my stuff with Brady and with Rick and with Mike. Wes is still holding his lunchbox. He's still looking at me dead straight in the face. Can I have my lunchbox and stuff? And then he starts adding stuff. Can I have my lunchbox and stuff? Can I have my lunchbox and stuff and stuff and stuff? I'm reading his thing now and I understand. Oh.
So that's just what he does, right?
He repeats himself.
Sure.
He gets into a mode in his brain where he just asks the same question.
And I am not laughing at him, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh, no, but
I
it's a
am
story.
laughing at Chris's. This is his first day. This is where he was working when he met me, and he was in the band. This is what he was doing. I am totally not laughing.
Oh no,
I have no. I am proud of that fact that I have never made fun of somebody like that. I would never even dream of it. Right?
Absolutely not.
Those people are some of the most lovable.
They are interesting,
amazing human beings that you will ever meet. You just have to find it in there, right? And that's the challenge.
Yeah. And true to that,
I didn't mean to interrupt your story.
No, you're good. No,
I was laughing. I just wanted everybody to know I was laughing at you.
Yeah, that was the comedy part of it. So, and true to point, I spent 13 years at the Mark Center.
I choked on my water.
I stayed in that position for the first 2 years in real estate. I stayed at a group home for 13 years.
You were so good at that job, man.
Thank you. I ended up
because I saw you with them when you had the van, and you would stop by to drop something off or whatever, and you'd be like, "These are the boys."
Yeah. I ended up overseeing the operation of 5 group homes. So I climbed that corporate ladder. And kid you not, that instance with Wes was the beginning of what was probably one of the greatest friendships I ever had in my life, even though it was truly a one-sided friendship, because he and I had conversations that just you could never have, and be that vulnerable and honest with another human being. The cool thing about Wes, there was never any hate. There's never any negative feedback. He would repeat what I would say sometimes. He broke my nose. They were moving group homes. They were moving group homes. And so he would hoard things. His life was in disarray because they were moving houses, and he didn't know how to handle that. So he had grabbed something from this staff member's desk. It was a round little snow globe, and put it in his lunchbox, and I saw him do it. So I went up to him, and by now I'm talking a year at the day program. So he and I were tight now. Like he would have a down moment in the morning. They would tell me, "Oh, he's down," and I'd open that door, and his eyes would light up. I mean, we bonded, right? Yeah, exactly. So I see him put this thing off Barbara's desk in his lunchbox. I'm like, Wes, man, you can't take stuff. He's got that death grip. I'm like, dude, I'm going to open your lunchbox. I'm going to take it out. I'm going to put it back on Barb's desk. It's hers. You can't take that. And he was making a noise that I never heard him make. He was kind of going, not to make fun of him, but the example, Sling Blade, Billy Bob Thornton, that kind of thing. He had this really weird,
right?
He had this really weird, and I never experienced it before. But I'm thinking that I'm good. We're dialed in. Like we're tight, you know? So one hand opens the lunchbox, the other one reaches in and gets the thing, and I'm looking down, okay? And I grab it, and then I look up. He hits me like this.
Straight down?
Okay? Straight down. Breaks my nose.
Oh,
so I automatically grab my nose. The staff sees it, and he comes to grab him. I say, don't restrain him, just sit him down. So we're sitting down. I'm waiting. Staff's getting me something. I'm holding my nose. I'm bleeding. Wes is sitting in front of me, maybe 3 feet. Is it wrong to hit Chris Dunham guy?
Oh, no. That was the first thing he said.
Yes, Wesley, it's wrong to hit Chris Dunham guy. You broke my nose. I broke your nose and stuff I did, Chris Dunham guy. I broke your nose and stuff I did.
I only have one nose.
So He was bipolar and manic depressive.
Oh,
So when he get into his high state, he would wave. So Nikki hated it. He would wave. He would just come up to you just like, I'm doing this. Hi, Chris Dunham guy. Hi,
like
Chris
right
Dunham
in your
guy
face.
stuff. Hi, Chris Dunham guy. Yeah. Hi, Chris Dunham guy. Hey, Chris Dunham guy, you like me? Do you like me? Now, the coolest thing about him, right, among other things, I got so tight with him I took him home to Eugene, Oregon twice. We flew on a plane. I learned.
Now, keep in mind, ladies and gentlemen, this is a guy who has said many times to me, and I'm only going to interrupt you for a second.
Yeah, you're fine.
That you have no empathy, right?
Right. I don't have empathy.
But you were so good
compassion.
at that. That's where you're an enigma. You do have a lot of compassion. Yeah.
I have compassion. So Wes and I got so tight that at one point in time, I actually was gonna apply for being his guardian because his mother had passed and his dad was getting up in age, and his dad gave me his full blessing. I didn't end up doing it because of all the red tape that was involved in it. But I took him to Eugene, Oregon twice on a plane. Now I had realized in my time with him, because this was probably 5-6 years, to visit his mom. She was still with us. I had realized after about 5 years with him that he loved music. And the reason he loved music is he was institutionalized as soon as they realized that he was messed up back then. I think he was born in 48. You go institution. It's one flew over cuckoo's nest institution. There's no staying at home.
They called you a mongoloid idiot back then.
Yeah.
Yes.
But
you think that calling him mentally handicapped was bad. You were literally, in his day, you were literally a mongoloid idiot.
Yeah.
They disowned you from the family. And like you said, you went to a place.
Yeah. You went to a place. That was it. But because of that, music was so ingrained into him that I could turn on the radio, any station in the group home, and I mean any station, and he would sing. He knew every song that it was ever played. And back then, when you played Cool FM, it was the song.
So he had like a photographic memory from music.
Oh my God! Oh yeah, the stuff on Cool FM back then was from the 40s and the 50s.
Sure.
The 60s was on KSLX.
Yep.
Right. So it was anything from the 40s up, he knew. So the airport, I'm like, okay, you don't know he's special until he talks. If you looked at him walking down the street with me, red hair, very well kept, beard trimmed because I made sure once a month
he had no outward characteristics of being handicapped.
Nope. I took him to Joe's barbershop in Mesa once a month, got his hair cut, got his beard trimmed up so we were so tight that his barber man at Joe's barbershop thought he was my brother.
That's awesome.
Like probably the 6th or 7th time I was there, he was doing something. I was like, sorry, man. He's like, it's all good, man. I love you, brother. You come here all the time. Like, okay. I didn't even go there. I just let it go because, I just let it go. So the airplane in the airport, I'm like, how am I going to deal with this? Because stressors and environment.
Yeah, it's a lot of people.
Walkman. Okay.
Sure.
I learned that he liked Guns N' Roses.
Yeah.
The problem, we're on the airplane. Picture this.
Yeah.
I get to go on early because of the circumstances, right? I get to go on. I get to go on early because of the circumstances, right? You couldn't tell, but I still got to go on early because of the circumstances.
Okay.
It was clearly noted on his ticket that
sure.
I'm responsible. This is who he is. I have to get on the plane first and off the plane last. Period. So we're like not first class, but we're like the second, third row in the plane behind first class. So we go, we're sitting in first class.
Oh no.
People start loading up the plane and we're just chilling, hanging. I had all kinds of stuff like a 7-year-old. You have to have stuff for a 7-year-old on a plane. So I have all the things. I can see his leg starts going. So I'm like, bust out the Walkman, put the cords in his ears, hit play. Guns N' Roses greatest hits. Okay. He doesn't start singing until Knocking on Heaven's Door comes on.
Oh no.
He is doing what normal people do back in the day when you weren't used to wearing AirPods. You sing
3
loud
times
enough
as loud to hear yourself through the music.
Right.
Yes.
So the plane is pretty much boarded now,
Oh, no.
and Knocking on Heaven's Door comes on, And he's singing and laughing because he has memory of this song because of his institutionalized life. So he's singing as loud as he probably can while laughing. And he has a laugh that was kind of, it was infectious, but you knew there was something not right with this guy. The stewardess comes to me and she's like, I need you to get him to calm down. I'm like, I can't. If I turn this off. She knew. No, she knew because when I walked on the plane, they understood.
Sure.
I had to tell them. What was up because I had the behaviors and stuff, you know. I'm like, I can't. I said, I can't take them off. I was like, you don't want me to take those off. Trust me. It's got to stay on. And he's just let him do his thing. I turned the volume down a little bit and I'm like, dude, you got to bring it down a notch. And then, of course, he starts his repetitive speech because it's a stressor. You know, don't sing as loud, Chris, that stuff. Don't sing as loud. I'm like, yes, Wesley, don't sing as loud, man. Just kind of bring it down a little bit, you know. But aside from that, nobody would have known that he was different. No one. So he got through knocking on heaven's door. He didn't know the next song and he stopped singing. And then when that side, you know, I flipped the tape over and then I had, I don't know, 6 or 7 different cassette tapes with me for the whole thing. But yeah, music, man, it didn't matter. Music, any song that come on the radio, he would know. And if he was having a bad day or something, I'd just turn on the radio and like Mamas and Papas would come on, or Jeremiah's a Bullfrog. And then he would just start singing and just thought it was the greatest thing in the world and start laughing because he associated something with that song. And that goes back to what we've talked about so many times. Music is a soundtrack of our life. And with him, to get him in and out of an airplane and in and out of an airport without a behavior is music.
Well, to me, when I hear stories like that, I keep cataloging all this stuff in my brain. It tells me that I'm on the right track when I just feel like the whole universe, it's a fact, the whole universe is humming at different frequencies, right? We can only hear a very small percentage of those frequencies. When you have somebody like that is inconsolable until they hear music, that just proves everything that science knows and doesn't know about the power of that frequency, the vibration, the energy, right? There's so much more to all this than we understand because we can't see most of it and we can't hear most of it.
Right.
But those people are tapping into something that we will, I think you just said it earlier, like that was a relationship you will never have with anyone else because you couldn't have a relationship like that with it. He was special in his own way, right? He's living. He's living in his own dimension almost.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. And he was one of those people that staff loved or hate him. It's kind of like me. Nikki says all the time, you either love Chris or hate Chris. There's no gray. And I think that's why we bonded, because there was no gray with him. It was a love or hate thing. You could either deal with his idiosyncrasies or you couldn't stand him.
That's one thing that you had in common with Scott. He was the same way.
Yeah.
You know, he rubbed people the wrong way.
Right.
And they hated him, or you saw what we saw and there was a good side to him. You know, it just, you had to make him vulnerable, and that was harder. It's harder. Like I'm way more outwardly vulnerable of my feelings, I think, than anybody. Rick was probably the most.
Yeah. Yeah. The other fun thing about him, excuse me, anytime we went anywhere, he had to go to the bathroom.
Well,
him and I didn't have to go to the, but no, he didn't have to go to the bathroom. He just had to go to the bathroom.
Oh,
and he would, and I had to go with him. And because he had one of his negative things, he would smear shit.
Oh.
He would just,
we don't have that in common. That's
nope. He gross. We had 24-hour staff. And once he understood I was a consistent figure in his life, that behavior kind of just subsided. But up to the point when I started working there, because I started in the day program, then I ended up moving into the group home after the first year, because I was like, I'd rather do the group home stuff. But yeah, you'd have staff would, you know, overnight they'd hear Wesley in his room painting the walls.
Oh,
but that was, you know, some weird side effect of his stuff, but it is what it is, you know?
Yeah, that's not good.
No, it's not. But So, changing topic now. Did you know in 1939, Stalin sent 500,000 troops into Finland? Expecting the tiny nation to fall in 12 days, instead, they met Simo Häyhä, a quiet farmer standing just 5 feet tall. Armed with an old iron-sighted rifle with no telescopic lens, he moved like a ghost through the frozen forest, assassinating 505 confirmed kills in 98 days and earning the terrified Soviet nickname, the White Death. That's fantastic.
For
505
3 months,
kills.
All that guy did is pick off Russian soldiers.
That's amazing,
every day.
man. That's amazing.
I read that, and I actually read it twice because I was unsure if it was a true story the first time. And then when it said that they were confirmed kills, I just started laughing. I'm like, here's this little Polish dude out in the middle of beautiful farmland for 3 months and 8 days. All he did is shoot Russian soldiers.
That's crazy.
And they're like, how in the fuck? Where is this guy? Yeah.
That's crazy. This one's cool. The $62.5 trillion per gram antimatter is the most expensive material known to humankind. So here's a question. If you steal the antimatter, is there a black market for that?
Can you smoke it?
I don't know, but is there a black market for that? Because I could envision somebody stealing that. Morbid knowledge. Love this. I think I heard this one. In 2021, Tyson Gilbert cut off his penis and threw it out the window of his car as he was being chased by police. He allegedly claimed that voices on the radio told him to do so he would save the world.
He might have been doing some PCP.
Wow.
Or some
wild. He had to be doing something, because how do you cut off your own penis while driving down the road? Now, and especially if it was a stick shift, that's impressive.
Just sheer talent alone.
That is impressive. Oh my gosh.
Your skills could have been better served elsewhere. Sir.
Oh yeah. I mean, imagine I doubt it was a clean cut. I
can't imagine how bad that would hurt, dude.
I know. I don't either, man. I don't either.
Because I'm sure he didn't have like a surgical scalpel with him.
No, there's no way you have a scalpel for that, man.
And that would be bad enough.
That would be bad enough for sure. Ugh. So we have finished the series Lost.
Spoiler alert. The series is like 20 years old, so we're going to, carry on.
Yeah. Oh, I got to respond to this.
If you have not seen Lost and you don't want to know anything, you can stop right here.
Yeah. So we didn't watch the uncut ending, because on the Netflix or Hulu, there's an uncut version.
I've never seen that either. So
we didn't watch that.
We've all seen the same thing.
Right. So so the way I thought the ending was, I liked the idea of them finding their hero type thing. And just like if you haven't seen it, it's hard to explain it. But when they were reconnecting with the people from the island,
right?
I dug that. I thought that was cool, because it was a way, that was like their heaven or something. I looked at it as like, okay, this is their heaven. This is
they realize they're all dead, right?
I didn't. So later into it, I did, because I had cheated and looked at something
So back in the day, the people described that show as the best show that's ever been written, with the stupidest fucking ending ever.
I agree with that, because the ending was like, here's the church. You all built it so you could reconnect. Like, really?
I remember I hadn't even seen it yet, and I remember the backlash in the media of how pissed off people were at the ending of that show, which is what made me watch it later on. I had a good friend who had seen it, week by week as it went. It's like, dude, you got to watch it. You can watch it. It was on Hulu at the time, I think. So I got to watch it all like you guys just did, one right after the other.
Yeah.
And I had to agree with everybody's sentiment. It quite possibly might be the best show ever in the history of the world with the dumbest fucking ending ever.
Yeah.
I was so disappointed.
I liked how they were making it out to be like the heaven part of it, right? And then it was weird. Like, we're all in a church now.
That's a good word. It was extremely weird.
Yeah. It's like they could have did so much more with that.
As cohesive as that show was, and now that you've seen it all, it makes total sense when I say this. It was so well put together where there were things you didn't know until way later on, and then it seems like it would be like Jackson Pollock painting his best painting ever and then throwing a big black streak right in the middle of it, you know?
Yeah.
Just laziness. Here's my finish. Here's my big finish. Well, you ruined the whole middle of the painting, Dick.
Yeah, you did. It didn't make sense to me.
I'm glad to hear you say that, because I thought you might have I didn't know what kind of take I guess you would have, and I was curious. I shouldn't say.
I during the, I think, 5th season, I Googled it, and the Last Supper picture came up with John Locke being the Jesus. So I kind of, from that standpoint, I thought, okay, because crashed the plane, he can walk now, the energy of the island, he's the Jesus. Like, he's the Jesus. He's the one that everybody sees as the Jesus because he came back to life. So I kind of thought, well, maybe they're dead, but because of the dynamic of the show, I'm like, okay, well, this isn't,
we had the same thought at the same point.
Like, is this purgatory? Is it hell?
I had those thoughts as well.
Right, because if it's hell, you wouldn't have food. You'd be suffering, right? You're not suffering. So lean more towards the purgatory. And if you don't know what purgatory is, Catholics believe in purgatory. You're not going to hell because Catholics have confession. And so as long as you don't intentionally... Right. So as long as you don't intentionally wake up today and say, I'm going to go kill that guy because my boss Tony over there tells me I go whack this dude for, not giving us the numbers right. I didn't wake up that day to go kill the dude. Like, was ordered to do the dude because I'm a soldier for the mafia and I had to go take care of business. But then tomorrow I can go to confession and that's absolved, So because of that, I'm going to go to purgatory. For all of my sins, I go to purgatory, and I hang out in purgatory for however long that is. Now, obviously, this is all assumption because nobody just died. Like, no, but
I love when people say this shit out loud because
Nikki and I are going through this thing. We're blessing our marriage in the church. According to the Catholics, we've not been married for 30 years. It's a hell of a ride for sinning, for sure. I keep telling her that. I'm like, what a better way to sin for 30 years, man. And for me, according to the Catholic religion, I get baptized. So, like, everything's washed away that day. Yeah, like, instantly. I start brand spanking new. Nick has got to go to confession.
I just had this conversation today.
Okay, cool. So we decided we'll go to confession together. I'm like, we got to go out of state because I'm not going to confession where we go to church because we don't need fathers knowing all our stuff, which is kind of funny. But this stuff I'm learning, it's fascinating because I grew up in a Christian type of religion. I was born Methodist into a Catholic church and was supposedly emergency baptized as a Catholic, but nobody can find record of that. The Methodists didn't keep record, but it stands to reason because I was in a Catholic church and because I was stuck automatically into an incubator for 2.5 months early, I was going to die. So they baptized me, the story goes, because I thought I was going to die. So, but there's no record of that. So the Catholic stuff I'm learning is it's purgatory. It's not heaven. It's not hell. It's purgatory. You spend X amount of time in purgatory.
True.
For whatever you've done in this world that has been negative. So I'm trying to get all the stuff out of the way between now and April 2nd, because then it starts fresh, So that's Catholic. So Christianity, it's heaven or hell. There's no difference. But you and I have had the conversation before that religion is made up. It's a man-made thing because you have to inject fear in somebody. The Bible itself has been written so many times, rewritten so many times, different versions.
The guy's sitting on a throne dressed like a wizard, wearing a fucking hat.
Right.
How much more ridiculous and crazy could you get?
Right. Mel Gibson just came out with a thing because Mel Gibson's super Roman Catholic, and he just came out with something. They discovered an actual.
I thought he was Jewish.
No, Mel Gibson's a fucking diehard Roman Catholic.
That was a joke, dude.
Was it a joke? I'm sorry. I missed
he
that.
hates the Jews. He got in trouble.
Oh, that's right.
That was
So I'm learning more and more about him because he's very opinionated. Like the shit that's going on in Hollywood with the pedophiles, like he was calling that shit out when they came over here after Mad Max was filmed and he broke into the American Filming Institute stuff. Like I was like, holy shit. Watch his stuff when you find him online. But they found an actual image of what was believed to be Christ. And I hate to break it to you, boys and girls, Jesus wasn't white. Everybody thinks Jesus was white. He's all portrayed as a white man. He's like, I don't know what Indian, some type of Indian, not the hate Indian, but
Middle Eastern.
Right, the Middle Eastern type.
He would be brown.
Right,
yes.
Exactly. So anybody who thinks that Jesus was white or black, I'm sorry, he Middle Eastern. Because that's where he
all
was
of humanity.
Born. Yeah.
I have even worse news. All of humanity started out as brown people because we all come from Africa.
Right.
White people came about because they started moving north and there's not as much sun for us people who live where there's winter, right?
Right. Mm-hmm.
That's where white people came from. But scientists, whether you want to believe it or not, you can believe in your fairy tale little world where there's always been white people, but there have not always been white people. I've been having this conversation a lot lately too, because it seems like all of the sudden we're separating ourselves again. And it's very important for people to know, like you said, there is no way on God's green earth, for lack of a better term, that Jesus was a white man. So that picture that you have in your bedroom or your home where he has long flowing hair and he's clearly a white guy with a beard.
Yep.
That was made up by somebody in America to sell a lot of pictures of Jesus.
Yeah. That and the fact that the Bible's been rewritten so many times. And I'm not discounting the Bible. Don't freak out on me. But when we're in this OCIA class, we get Bibles. We get Bibles in the Catechism Bible. Okay. For God so loved the world, he gave his only begotten son. The version we have, they took begotten out. I read that. I looked at Nikki. I'm like, you can't take begotten out, man.
The Bible was created by 10 canonized priests.
Right.
1,000 years after Jesus was born, crucified, gone. He'd been gone for 1,000 years. And then the Bible that we know and love is the one you're reading today.
Facts.
So,
but depending on the version.
And that's 100% true. And that's why, in my mind, literally, when this conversation comes up, if people want to know why I'm so hardcore about my feelings when it comes to religion, just Chris talking about the little bit of what he's going through branched us down all these roads, and my mind goes down so many other roads that all of a sudden this is what I hear in my brain.
Right. Right. And yeah.
None of it makes sense because here's the conversation that I had today. We were talking about religion, and I was talking about it with somebody who can have the conversation like you and I are having now. I'm not going to judge you. You're not going to judge me. We're trying to figure out life together, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And she simply said, I have faith and it makes me feel better, right? And I was quick to say, I'm not trying to change your mind. I am literally trying to get you to see how I came from your side of the fence to my side of the fence, right?
Yep.
My brain, and I probably should, if you want to say that was detrimental to become a musician, I firmly believe that becoming a musician made me a more analytical person to where I had to figure shit out, right?
It did.
So it just doesn't make sense to me that a guy could kill 17 people and on his deathbed could claim Jesus as his Lord and Savior, and he goes to heaven. And number two guy lived his whole life, built a business, was an atheist, gave millions of dollars of charity, took $60,000 a year for himself, just gave all the rest of his money away, put kids through school, built a hospital.
Yeah.
That guy's going to hell.
Right.
Because he doesn't believe in Jesus. And that person that I was talking to, you could see instantly was like, no, I don't believe that. And I was like, yes, you do.
Right. Because
you can't have it both ways.
Thank you. It's the rule of Christianity is accept, believe, commit. You got to accept Jesus died for your sins on the cross. You got to believe that, and you got to commit your life to him. Whatever that looks like, you have to commit your life to being a Christ-like individual.
Otherwise, you're what do they call that?
You're a pagan. You're a heathen.
No, there's a term in Catholicism where they're like,
I'm not there yet.
Okay. They're just like a Sunday Catholic or something, you know.
Oh, yeah. Sunday Catholic. Lukewarm.
That's
more
it.
Lukewarm is the Christian side of that. You're lukewarm.
Yeah.
And what's funny too is the judges are typically hardcore Christians, judge you more than anybody else will.
1,000,000%.
Which is just, because they're so, and we've talked about it before, some people need direction. They need to be told how to believe and how to pray and how to tithe and do these things to get to heaven.
And I firmly believe that the person that I was talking to, not to interrupt you, but it's important for me if they're listening to this because they listen to it a lot.
Yeah.
It's important for me to have them understand that their point was, this is how I believed as a little girl and this is how I believe today, right?
Right.
I support that. I support that so much, right? Because of what you just said, that makes you a better person every day.
Right.
The guilt that comes along with the stress of living that life, because now I have to live it to a T, right? I was like that from a little kid. Yeah. They told me, here's what you're going to believe. And that was the other part of the problem is I wanted to make my own decisions later on, right?
Right.
But at that time, it was like, okay, here's what we believe. And man, there's a lot of stress that comes along with this because you have sin and I can and can't say and do certain things. And
so I'm going to find this thing, which is fascinating. I think this is it. Hold on. Oh, come on.
Yeah.
No, that's not. Hold on.
To quote Jimmy from South Park, come on.
Well, no, because Ricky Gervais, love him or hate him.
His last comedy special on Netflix was hilarious.
I didn't like it. It wasn't my favorite one.
No?
No.
I don't think it was my favorite one, but I thought it was good.
Okay, so check this out. And this is a short thing, so we shouldn't get in trouble for it.
There's a God. So everyone's technically agnostic. We don't know. An agnostic atheist is someone who doesn't know there's a God or not, as no one does. Atheism is only rejecting the claim that there is a God. Atheism isn't a belief system. This is atheism in a nutshell. You say there's a God. I say, can you prove that? You say no. I say, I don't believe you then. You believe in one God, I say. There are 3,000 to choose from. So basically, you deny one less God than I do. You don't believe in 2,999 gods, and I don't believe in just one more. I'm an agnostic atheist, technically.
Me too.
There you go.
I just leave it at agnostic. I leave myself open to the possibility. And here's why. The conversation that you and I are having right now, and this happens to Chris and I since we started this podcast more than we even admit on the show.
Yeah.
I literally just had this conversation at work today, and 52 minutes into this podcast, we jumped right down that road.
Right.
We didn't talk about this before we came on the air.
Dozer, stop. My dog's in a bark at a guy walking by my window.
I see the guy walking by your window, and had you not said that, I would have warned you that somebody could be potentially ruining our show here.
Yep.
That's the synchronicity of the universe. So my point is, I think it's equally as stupid, and in the conversation I had with my friend, I said this. I think it's equally as stupid to be an atheist.
Right.
Because now you're saying that there's no possibility that there's any order to the universe that could have been created by intelligent design.
Right. Exactly.
You don't know that.
Mm-mm.
And the way that I end these arguments with people who get hostile with me, and you know how I'm good at diffusing situations, right?
Yeah.
The way I diffuse that situation, if somebody gets a little too aggressive, is simply to say, you don't know what happens when we die. And neither do I. And we both should be super thankful for that today, right?
Yep.
You can't say, I know for sure. about anything. That's why the word faith comes about.
Right.
And to me, it's hard for you to say that because you are a Christian. And here's where people get really weird. Well, we do Christianity in America, and over there in China, that's where they do the Buddhist thing. And, that's the same. They're really the same. They just don't know it. Those are my favorite people, right? No, they do Buddhism things, and they don't care anything about Christianity. And I'm sure they're hyper aware of it in 2026.
Right. And see, and the thing too, at the end of the day, according to, we're all descendants from Adam and Eve, right?
Correct.
If you believe in that, Adam and Eve started it. We are all under that tree. If you believe in God, we're all under that tree, which means every single person, regardless of race, color, religion, and creed, they were all made in the eyes of the Father, because that's the whole, what is it?
Father, Son, and
the Father, Son, and Holy Spirit. It's all one. Which the more I've gone down this Catholic path, the more I'm seeing the brilliance of Scott Stapp, because there's two different creeds in the Catholicism religion. I don't know them off the top of my head.
The Apostles' Creed is one of them,
right? But the brilliance of Scott Stapp, of how I guarantee he picked the name of the band, because all the songs that were written he wrote lyrically, at least.
Sure.
For the most part, I'm sure Tremonti had a hand in some of it, but I think the foundation of Creed's music was Scott and his upbringing in the evangelical
100%
whack-a-mole. Like when I remember when they were huge,
he was the tent revival guy.
Yeah, because his dad had that fucking big old cross dangling down.
Oh yeah, those
neck.
guys
like,
are fucking.
It wasn't this little tiny thing like this.
No, you get into the snake charming with them people and shit.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
They speak in tongues and
Oh, just yeah. So. Yeah. So reason I'm identifying and agreeing with you on a level here, because when I went through my entire thing growing up, and then I kind of stepped away from the whole idea of an organized religion, I went agnostic. So people got to understand how you explained it. Atheism, you don't believe in anything, but in a sense you believe in something because you're believing in nothing.
Yes.
Agnostic, you just don't believe in one God. You don't believe in organized religion. You believe in something.
I believe the potential for something to be there is, yes.
Right. That's agnostic. It's like Ricky Gervais said, there's 3,000 gods. I'm believing in one less than you are. But it's not that you're not so shut down and closed off. You don't believe in nothing. Agnostic is I just don't believe in I looked at it as at the time when I chose that path, I didn't believe in organized religion. I didn't believe in being forced to be told how to live, pray, eat, and sleep. I'm sorry. It's not tangible. When I was a kid, I remember growing up how I grew up with the evil monster in the other room. I would pray like you wouldn't believe. I would pray. And I would ask, like, legit, I had this stupid little chair, man, that was like from the 1970s. And I remember this. I'm getting chills as I tell you this, but I remember praying and just asking Jesus to come, just sit on that chair. So when she comes in the room, you can protect me. Guess what? He never sat on that chair. He never protected me. So for you trying to tell me that you have to believe in a God that won't protect a child who's vulnerable and weak and is about to get his ass kicked and thrown out, fuck you.
But that Christian sitting next to you right now is going to say,
right,
but you're still here talking to us, Chris Dunn, the Lord looked over you the whole way. You just didn't, right? Right.
But still,
did
that's
that
the
help
thing
you in that moment in time?
No, because it was bullshit to me, because I was so focused on I needed something. And because I was forced to go to church as a child so she could fuck the dude that she was fucking, who was married the entire time. That's why she was always late to pick us up from church, which is why I stopped going to church, because I was the last kid sitting in the parking lot. There's all kinds of trash there. There's all kinds of baggage, man.
So awful, man.
But it's the thing that oh, my mother was a fucking whore, dude. I'll be the first one to, yep. You don't like that? I'm sorry.
I know, but just that story right there, you have no idea what you just said. And just like,
I do.
I know you do.
Yeah,
but
I know.
That just blew me off my chair. Like poor kid sitting in the parking lot at church, no less.
Yeah.
Well, his mom's off fucking somebody else.
Why fucking a married man for like 20 some odd years. The greatest thing about my grandmother when she got Alzheimer's, and do you have to look at the positives? Man, she let that shit fly.
Well, there's where the Christian's going to say, that's where you ended up, that your grandmother.
I know, but there was no holding back. My grandmother was the salt of the earth, man. She was old school. She
That's
just
where I
let that
learned
shit
everything
fly.
I needed to know about life and
And
I'm going to try and say this.
Right.
I don't want to get anybody in trouble.
Okay.
That's where I learned all about life and dynamics of
Yes.
people. Yes.
The most ironic part of that, the person that she was sleeping with, eventually married the guy after he left his wife 30 years later, was not Caucasian. My grandmother, Midwest, old school. Boy, did she now my grandmother didn't have a racist bone in her body as far as I knew. And as far as I was around her as a child and growing into my adult years. But somewhere deep rooted, she had some serious hate for what my mother did and how she did it, for the amount of years she did it. And my grandmother let her know that every time she would come visit, because when you have Alzheimer's, you remember things and you don't. I would go visit my grandmother. I'd walk in the room. Who are you? Christopher. Oh, Christopher. Oh, what do you do? Realtor. Oh, that's perfect. You should do that. You gifted gab when you were 5 years old or whatever. You got in trouble and I was scolding you. And by the time you got done explaining why you did what you did and how it was right that you did it, I was just so tired and said, oh, whatever. We'd have a conversation. She'd look away. This is the sad part of Alzheimer's. She'd look away,
yeah.
look back at me. Well, who are you? Christopher. Oh, Christopher. Same path. 20 times in an hour. The sad part of Alzheimer's. But there would be moments where we would have fantastic conversations about who she was and whatever we talked about. But the dark side of Alzheimer's is you pull that shit out that you never would have said because you're the type of person you were. But now Alzheimer's gives you no filter. Nikki's afraid if I get Alzheimer's and I don't have a filter, she's like, your dad can't live with me if he gets Alzheimer's. We're going to have to put him in a home.
There's a lot of truth in that statement.
Right. But it was for us because the violence and the betrayal and the anger and the pain when we heard stories, because I heard them secondhand. My aunt would tell me, my cousin would tell me, man, she would just shred her. It's like, to be a fly on the wall.
I just thought about that, man. Fuck, I barely have a filter now. It'd be ugly.
But yeah, but it's
well, the story you told about being a little boy and sitting there it's a very harsh thing that I say, and I try not to say it a lot, but I really feel like it's true. If you still are a Christian, he is the most absentee father in the history of the universe.
Oh, amen.
Why would we,
ironically,
why would we have a St. Jude's commercial every half hour on my television for these poor kids that have cancer? There's a lot of things that you just can't explain, and it all goes back to, I think that there's some kind of order. I just think there's so much more about what's going on around us that we don't see or hear. Yeah,
because go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, when you and I were growing up, they thought there was, 4 dimensions or whatever. Now they know there's 12 or 23 or whatever. It's like we keep evolving and learning about the landscape around us.
Right. The other thing too, like when growing up in the Christian church, everybody's, rapture, revelation, Jesus is coming back. Well, the only time Jesus come back is when every human on the planet has an opportunity to decide yes or no. That's why you have missionaries. That's why missionaries began, because they have to get the word. They got to spread the word to every single person.
Good luck getting to that island over there by India where those people just kill you when you get within 50 yards of the shore.
Where I'm going with this, though, is you have to be of age to be able to make that conscious decision. Belief or no belief, yes or no, right? That poses the question that you just touched on with children. If the child cannot make a determination between what's faith and what's not faith, do I believe or do I don't believe, they have to be able to, in their mind, subconsciously make a decision. Yes, I believe in Jesus. Right. No, I don't believe in Jesus, which has got to be, I don't know, 7, 8 years old. I think little man 6, I think he could maybe, but he still wouldn't fully understand, right, the magnitude of that. that.
I didn't
thing,
understand at 13.
Right. So that's what I'm saying.
Because I don't
you have to
think
be able,
like that now.
Right. So the person has to be consciously able to make the decision. Yes, I believe. No, I don't believe.
So based
that's
on what we
par
said
for the
earlier,
course.
25 should be minimum, right? That's your
Okay.
fully formed frontal cortex.
So anybody under 25, why would they get cancer and suffer and pain and die and all that kind of shit if they don't have the mindset to make that conscious decision?
To quote the church lady,
Mm-hmm.
could it be
Satan?
Come on, you got to give me that one.
Oh yeah. Yeah. So, all right.
You know, the Pope denounced hell not
yeah.
long ago. What, 10 years ago?
Because he wants purgatory, man. It's purgatory. All right, we're gonna wrap this up. Nikki's getting home. I hear
we made people think.
We did make people think. I gotta pee. You gotta eat. And
I'm starving.
remember, boys and girls, if this episode made you feel suicidal or depressed, it's not our fault. You have something that's off. So go run, go journal, go scream in a pillow, go work out, go do something that's going to change your mindset. Suicide's not the option. Too many people have done that, been there, and it just affects the life. You'll leave a hole in somebody's heart.
Don't listen to us, but listen to us.
No. Yeah. Text 988. Somebody's there to help you talk off that ledge and get your mind right so you wake up tomorrow and it's a better day, because tomorrow is always a better day with you in it. For the Chris and Mike Show, I'm Chris. He's Mike. Nothing but love, brother. Great
love
topic
you too,
today.
man.
Great conversation.
Loved it. I think it's important for people to understand. We just had a conversation about religion and nobody got heated. So you can do it.
Exactly. Nobody got heated. Nobody.
Have a great rest of your evening, my friend.
Yeah, you too, brother. Peace.
Peace.
We're gonna fly